exercise called pelvic unweighting, which is really good for my pregnant patients that need to unload their pelvic floor, take the weight off of there, and for my patients that tend to tuck their tailbone under, grip their glutes, and compress the lumbar spine. So if you're standing at the kitchen counter a lot, you are rounded forward. If you're standing on an assembly line doing detailed work where you're gripping and then rounding forward. So this is your low back. This is where your organs are. These are your discs. This is your vertebral body. Usually your low back should have a curve this way, giving nice space where these discs are. When we clench our glutes, flatten out the lumbar spine, we're rounding it, we're compressing that area for long periods of time. So when you do this exercise, you want to think of, we're going to bend forward at the waist, we're going to arch the low back, and we're going to open up the front side. We're just reversing what you've done for a long period of time. So think of it as doing the opposite of what you've been in. There's no one perfect position to be. We don't want to always be rounded. We don't want to always be arched, but we want to have that balance. So if you tend to grip your glutes, have low back pain, have that rounding over for whatever part of your life that you have to do it, then this is the perfect exercise. And for my pregnant patients, so you're going to bring your elbows onto a surface. It doesn't have to be this low. The lower the better for pelvic floor patients, because you want to get baby and placenta off the pelvic floor. So my feet are wider than my hips. My toes are turned in a little bit, so I'm taking the bones that I sit on and widening them apart and swinging my tailbone up, and then we're going to shift to one side. Feel how it opens up the opposite groin, and then shift the hips to the other side. Feel how it opens up the other groin. And we're going to sway back and forth. I like to press my elbows down and pull them towards me and stretch out through my head so that I get that elongation of the spine too. It's kind of like your own way to decompress the spine at home. And you can bend one knee and do almost like figure eights back and forth. So I'll show you more this way. So if your arms are here, you're gonna shift, and then you can bend one knee and the other. So you're swinging the hips back and forth in like a figure eight motion, bringing nice movement into the pelvis. And again, you can pull the elbows back towards you, stretch the tailbone away, pull through the crown of the head. So you're separating the spine in a nice little easy, natural decompression of the spine. A little light bend to the knees, feet are turned in. I'll show you what I mean. So my feet are wider than my hips, toes turned in, slight bend to the knees, and shifting back and forth. You'll feel a stretch even from your ribs to the top of your pelvis. And this is great to do to reverse all that pressure from baby down onto the pelvic floor, or all the compression of tucking the tailbone over and bending forward. We often do this if we hold kids a lot too. We'll clench the glutes, hold the kids, because our abs aren't fully turned on. So that's pelvic unweighting.